Hey, this is Dylan Garvin, the editor for Authors Love Readers podcast. Unfortunately, while recording this episode, we had a little technical difficulties with Deborah's audio. We worked hard to salvage what we could, but unfortunately we couldn't use all of it. So you may notice that this episode is shorter than the usual episode. Thank you and enjoy.
Hi, welcome to this week's Authors Love Readers podcast, where we delve into the stories behind the stories. We're asking authors questions, some of them fun, some of them serious, and from their answers you're going to learn things you never knew about the people who write the stories you love. My name is Patricia McLinn. I'm your host and designated question asker.
I'm Deborah Hale. I'm an author who loves readers.
Now, let's start the show. Hi, and welcome to another edition of Authors Love Readers podcast. We're so glad to have you here with us this week, and we hope that you are loving the interviews too, and will let the world know with a review wherever you happen to listen to us to spread the word. So please consider reviewing Authors Love Readers podcast. This week, I have Deborah Hale with me. Deborah Hale, I first met pretty sure through doing Harlequin Historical, which is an aspect of my writing that a lot of people don't know about because I've only written 2 historicals out of 40 mumble books. But there was a group of people writing Harlequin Historicals, terrific group of authors. And then Deborah and I have worked on some other projects in otherworld that I think would bore readers to tears. But I have great respect for what she has done and how hard she has worked with that. So welcome today, Deborah.
Thank you.
Tell the readers a little bit about what you write.
Well, I've written a number of different kinds of things, mostly historical. Some of it has been historical romance. Some of it's been inspirational romance with a historical setting. I've done one historical fiction novel, and I did a couple of otherworld fantasy novels. So history is kind of one of the things that ties my stories together, and then usually there's relationship aspect that runs through it too.
Now, I didn't know about the fantasy. So your fantasy is set against real history, or do you do alternative history? Or
it's otherworld, some sort of like George R. Martin's Game of Thrones, where it's Westeros is its whole own world. Well, I got my own little whole world, and there's magic involved and that kind of thing. So, but you get to I've drawn my own maps and all that kind of thing.
Oh, wonderful! What's the name of that?
It was a 2-book series. The first was The Wizard Ward, and the second was Destined Queen. And they were actually, I wrote them for Harlequin's Luna imprint when it first came out. When I heard about it was something that I always wanted to do, and I contacted my editor and sent her a proposal and got a contract for it and did those 2 books and really enjoyed it. But my heart was really in historicals, and I didn't write fast enough that I could keep writing both of them at the same time. So I kind of went back to historicals.
I'm going to put you on the spot here. Nice of me to warn you, right? Can you explain to the listeners and to readers about writing in a genre that you love, historicals, and yet having this non-fitting story or stories that have been tugging at you? Because you said you'd had those stories kind of there, you'd wanted to write that kind. Can you talk about that?
Well, actually, fantasies, that was the genre that originally made me want to write stories.
Oh.
Back in high school and university, I had, done some world building and apps and, created world building kind of things. And then it was later when I started writing romance and actually learned about story and how to finish a book, that kind of thing. But then when this kind of opportunity came up to possibly write fantasy, it was just something that really, really appealed to me. And as it turned out, sort of didn't expect that I would get the opportunity. I thought, oh, well, I just want to give it a try and see what comes of it. And sent my editor a proposal and heard back very quickly. And yes, we want 2 books. It's like, oh. So I actually went back to some of the material that I put together in high school because I didn't have the time to do all that. I wanted something pretty quickly from me. So I had to go digging through. Fortunately, I'm not a hoarder, but a pack rat. That's what my grandmother would call it.
Did you find that that writing those books was a different experience in any way from writing your historicals, historical fiction or historical romance?
In a sense that there was sort of less research. I just make up date, but I just had to make sure that there was sort of an internal consistency to things. So if I made something up, I had to make sure that if I referred back to that again, that it was the same thing that I had said. You can't just keep. It's like lying for fun and profit. You got to keep your story straight.
Right.
But the first of those books just seemed to flow. The second one less so much.
Well, that first one had probably been in your head percolating it to some extent or not other for.
That's right.
For what, at least the 5 years since you'd been out of high school.
Well, yes.
You were talking about you don't have to look up the dates and you can make things up. I always find, though, the problem with that is then I make it up, I put it down, and then when I am either doing a subsequent book that's connected or whatever, I'm thinking, why did I do that? And I am the only one to blame. I can't say it's history. I'm stuck with this. It's all me.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Tell us a little bit about your historicals. Do you do a particular period in time, a particular place?
Well, that's another thing. I kind of have jumped around a certain amount in my historicals. Quite a few of them are regencies, but even amongst regencies, it's not all set in England, nothing in London, and that kind of the setting I usually associate with regencies.
Okay, so let's do some of the fun questions. Let the readers get to know you better. I'll go right to the real fun and say, do you have any really strong fears? And do you use them in books?
Oh, I'm still kind of scared of heights, but I know that there are a lot of things, not necessarily fears, maybe a bit, that I will work through in books.
Well, how about earlier in your life? Did you have things that really got to you and now you look back at them and think, why was I obsessing about that?
It really used to bother me when things didn't work out the way I anticipated, the way I thought they were going to work out. Because maybe that's just kind of a writing trait or something that you sort of imagine if you've got something coming up. And that is something that I just learned to say, you know what? I'm just going to say, right, whatever happens, that's me. It's all.
I think it's really hard for writers to not have preconceived ideas because our imaginations are churning all the time, and
that's always yeah.
And looking ahead at those things. So speaking of imagination, I have my very own peculiar desert island that I make people live on. And it has the ability to show movies, but it will only let you show 3 movies. It's a weird island. What can I say? So which 3 movies are you going to watch over and over and over?
Okay, well, if I could only have one, there'd be no question Groundhog Day. We watch it every year. So now my husband, myself, my kids, if you get us starting with a line of dialogue, 15 minutes later, we'll be snowboating Bill Murray or whatever. It gets harder after that. That would definitely be number 1. Let's see. Probably after that would be While You're Sleeping, with Sandra Bullock. I learned so much from that film about structuring.
Yep. It's classically structured. Yeah. There's also there's a scene where she goes to the family's house and they have at the dinner. It makes me homesick.
The kind of look that you get in a lot of older romance films where it's like, oh, this is the shot of the heroine falling in love. And it really is, because she's falling in love with this whole family.
Yep.
And that's just my hard time. Number 3. Okay. Number 3, toss up between The Princess Bride and Lilo and Stitch.
Well, you know what? They make me think I refer to movies that have a good heart.
Oh.
Yeah. And I also think there's a quote by Jessica Tandy that apparently I'm the only person who's ever heard, because I've never been able to find this otherwise. That she said, I swear I heard her say in an interview that she wanted to make movies that when you left the theater, you were glad to be a member of the human race. And I thought, that's what I want to do with my books.
That really does sound like she would say.
Yeah, if she didn't say it, she should have, right?
Yeah.
Me putting words in her mouth? Who, me? All right, how about a favorite color?
Green.
Interesting.
I read somewhere that the human eye has more receptors for the color green than any other. I think it's probably an adaptive trait from living in the jungles and whatever. But yeah, we see way more different shades of green than we can of a lot of other colors.
And so has it always been green for you?
I think so. Anytime I've had an opportunity to paint or paper a bedroom, it's usually always in kind of a muted shade of green. I think it's kind of restful too.
One of our reader listeners asks about where we get ideas, and it so kindly says our beautiful ideas. Do you get ideas from research, and do you come back once you have the idea you're researching?
I don't think too much. My relationship with research has always been a red hot love affair. I like to say, I think it's on Twitter that I said that I write novels to support my research habit.
What is the biggest thing that most people think they know about, especially, let's say, historical romance, that just isn't so? So these are clearly not readers of historical romance.
Sure. I think one of the things, and I suppose that this goes for a lot of romance, but definitely I think for historicals, is this idea that it's somehow anti-feminist. I find usually the heroines are really strong when they go through a lot of things, and they, manage to forge a relationship to change their own character and to help the hero change in ways that is good for their relationship, and have and expect wonderful sex. What's anti-feminist about that?
Yeah, good points. Excellent points. If somebody has not read any of your works, where do you think which is the best introduction, do you think, to your writing?
Probably one of agencies. I would think either A Gem of Substance or Beauty and the Bear, and two of probably my most popular regencies. And I think those are ones that might hook a reader if like to learn from it.
Yeah, I think the books that other readers have loved is often that's a good indication. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And where can people find out more in general about your books?
Probably the best place is to go to my website, DeborahHale.com. That's just realize there are two H's there at the end of Deborah at the start of Hale.
Yeah. We will include the URL in the show notes, and we will go to the rapid round, either ors. Okay? So I love this part. Paper plates or best china?
Best china.
Day or night?
Day.
House decorating or gardening?
House decorating.
Okay, then paint or wallpaper?
Paint.
Hiking boots or cowboy boots?
Hiking boots.
Heels or slippers?
Slippers.
Daisies or roses?
Roses.
Winter Olympics or Summer Olympics?
Winter Olympics.
Nail polish or bare nails?
Bare nails.
Spring or fall?
Fall.
Ice cream or cake?
Ice cream.
Cruise or trekking vacation?
Cruise.
Okay, this is the last one. Grab the best first or save the best for last?
Save the best last.
Thank you so much, Deborah. We really appreciate your spending the time with us. For our listeners, we hope you'll come back next week and meet another author on Authors Love Readers podcast and hear about their stories behind the stories. Until then, I wish you a wonderful week of reading. That's the show for this week. Hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for joining Authors Love Readers podcast. Remember, you can always find out more about our guest authors in the show notes, and you can find out more about me at www.patriciamclinn.com. You can also send in questions to be asked of future authors at podcast@authorslovereaders.com. Until next week, Wishing you lots of happy reading. Bye.